Hey, what's cracking, y'all? It's Steve over here at Sack Exotics. Well, the time's come for us to give you an update on that WTF clutch that we had and show you how these guys are doing, explain kind of what was going on and how it came to be. So stick around. This is going to be interesting. So after hatching this clutch, I had a ton of questions. I questioned the genetics of the mom and the supposed dad of the clutch. You all saw that on that video when we did the egg cutting. I even questioned the information that I'd heard on parthenogenesis. It seems like there's been a little bit of misinformation put out there over the years. I was kind of under the impression that in a partho clutch, that every baby would come out to be an exact replica of the mother, which is why I kind of ruled out parthenogenesis from the get-go. None of the babies even look like the mom. So they got me on a quest for information. I ran across videos from Chris Hardwick, from Small Town Exotics, from Mr. Lunscience, who has a real good series on watching an entire parthenogenic clutch grow up, as well as a recent video from Rare Genetics, the folks that brought us the shed testing. I even resorted to using AI to try to find something out.
Did you know some ball pythons can reproduce without a mate?
Well, that really wasn't much of a help. But through all the research that I did run across information that did coincide with the observations that I had. In order to best describe what's going on, why don't you say we get the mom out? All right, now this is Allie Boo. This is the mom of that clutch. She is a bamboo albino, which means she's carrying a single copy or heterozygous version of the gene bamboo, as well as a homozygous or dual copy of the gene albino. Now, I also believe her to carry the heterozygous or single copy of the gene pastel. We're not really going to focus on that one right now, but I'll show you why I believe that a little bit later on in the video. Now, in a normal sexually produced clutch, half the DNA from the baby is going to come from the mom, like her, and half will come from the dad. However, in a parthenogenic clutch, the mom gives her half of the DNA and then she duplicates it. So what does that mean for the color and pattern mutating genes? Well, since she is heterozygous for bamboo, she has a 50% chance of passing that gene onto her babies. And since she is homozygous for the gene albino, she will pass that gene on 100% of the time. Then, since it's a partho clutch, those genes are going to get duplicated, which results in the babies being homozygous, or in the case of a incomplete dominant, a super, and a recessive, a visual, of any gene that the mom passes. So this gives a good explanation of why none of the babies looked exactly like the mom. Since the mom was heterozygous for bamboo, the babies which got the bamboo gene passed on to them were homozygous, or the super version, which is a blue-eyed leucistic. While it may sound pretty awesome that the mom was able to pass the genes on like she did and actually create a shortcut to a project that I'm working on, parthogenic clutches tend to have quite a few issues going on. From what I've seen, well, in my own babies over there, one of them does have a bit of a crook in her neck, kind of a kink in there. Luckily, she has been able to eat and get the food down past it. I feel really fortunate that they're doing as well as they are, because some of the other videos from some other breeders that I saw, they had some serious kinking issues. Some of them never made it out of the egg. Some of them perished shortly thereafter. Some other issues that we can run into with parthenogenesis is sometimes the babies, if not all the time, I'm really not sure on this one, but the babies are sterile, that they're not able to reproduce, and that they may also have quite a bit shorter life expectancy than a normally born snake. One thing I did notice whenever these things were coming out of the eggs is that they didn't absorb all of their yolk. They actually pulled themselves out of the egg with a good portion of the yolk sac still attached to them. So not only in my observations, but Dr. Ben over at RGI, he had mentioned that his had done that as well. Well, I think it's time I go ahead and grab the little gals out so you all can take a look and see how well they're doing, all things considered. First one we got here is going to be the first little cherry bomb, or a super bamboo albino. You can see it's an all white snake with red eyes. She's doing pretty darn good. We would just like for her to start eating on her own, because so far all three of these little Partho babies have had to be assist fed, which they've gotten 2 meals down them so far. In fact, you can kind of see a video of that right here.
Assist feeding, baby, all pythons.
This particular one right here is probably the most well-developed one. Doesn't appear to have any kind of kinks, any kind of issues going on with it. Just a super friendly little inquisitive little snake. Well, let's go grab another one. This one here, we've got cherry bomb number 2, or as we affectionately like to call crookneck. She's the one with the little kink in her neck, but she is able to take her food down, and it gets past the kink with no problem. So that was our main concern whenever we first noticed it. We were really concerned that she may not be able to eat, but she is doing really good. And actually, she's probably the most active, most inquisitive, and just another super sweet little snake. Hopefully, maybe, I mean, I don't know if there's much of a chance of it or not, but maybe as she grows a little bit, maybe that kink will kind of grow out of her, hopefully anyway. And last but not least, we've got the one that did not get the bamboo gene passed on to it. It's just an albino. However, it does appear to maybe have another gene floating around in it, which is why in the beginning of the video I said that I think the mom may have pastel in her, because if you can see the pattern on this thing, it's got a super busy pattern in comparison to a regular albino. It appears to me that it may be a super pastel. The pattern's really, really evident whenever she's put under a black light. And I tell you what, I'll show you a little video of that right here. Hey, I really appreciate you all watching to the end of this video, and if there's anything that you think that I may have missed, anything I might have gotten wrong, please let me know down in the comments. I really do appreciate it. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.